Hi, I'm Tracy, and we're going to be making a craft today that has to do with a Bible story. It is going to end up looking like this. So you've got a tree and a man. We're going to call this man Zacchaeus because that is who the focus of our story is. I'm going to set those over there. So Zacchaeus was a very small man. He was very short, and so this was something that got in the way of him wanting to see a parade. We've got a template of Zacchaeus here, and essentially you want to cut out one of Zacchaeus. You'll get it into a square, and once you've got that, you can keep it as a square if this is the best that your cutting can do. But if you want to challenge yourself, you can also cut along the lines and create a smaller space with your paper like this. But I've got it already finished to that degree. So you have a nice little Zacchaeus here, and now you can go ahead and choose whatever colors you want. I chose a number of crayons, and you can just pick whichever color you want to make Zacchaeus. It doesn't matter, be creative. This is your craft. You can make Zacchaeus look however you want to make him look. So Zacchaeus was small, as we know, and Jesus was traveling, and he was the main event of this parade. We wanted to, or the people wanted to see Jesus. And Zacchaeus, one second, put these to the side. This is how I made my Zacchaeus look. Zacchaeus wanted to be able to see Jesus. He couldn't see over the crowd. I'm going to take a clothespin here because we want to make sure that Zacchaeus can stand. Now, you can use a glue stick. You can use Elmer's glue. For my purposes, I'm going to use a hot glue gun. If you have a grown-up and you have a glue gun available, you're more than welcome to ask a grown-up for help. But if you use regular glue or a glue stick, it will work. You're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for it to dry. So again, Zacchaeus was able to stand, but he was one who stood below the crowd. We want to make sure that the glue is on the clothespin so that you can stick your paper on, but it won't go over the edges. If you're using hot glue, again, ask a grown-up, but very gently tap it on. And now Zacchaeus can stand. So how was Zacchaeus going to look over this crowd and see Jesus? Well, he found a tree. And what we're going to do to make our tree is using a paper bag. We want to make sure that it actually stands first so that we have it properly in place like that. Now you want to take your scissors and you want to create some strips. I would say go to the fold of the bag to give yourself some really good branches. You don't have to cut too many strips, probably like an inch. If you did not know, this little space in between your finger is about an inch worth, so you can measure it out that way, or you can just cut 4 to 5 lines, whichever works for you with your paper bag. So now we've got, almost looks like a willow or something to that degree if you just left it like that. But very carefully, you're going to scrunch at the bottom and twist. You want to still maintain that flat base so that it can still stand. So you might want to do it on the table. To the point where you have a trunk. So once you have the basic bottom of the tree, you'll take the strips that you've made, wrap them around, and twist. So these will look like different branches of the tree, and you'll just make a number of different twists until you have all of your branches out. So again, Zacchaeus had to find this tree, and he was the one who had to climb to the top of it. And when he got to the top of the tree, Jesus saw him. Now, something that you need to know about Zacchaeus. He was not well liked amongst the people. He was one who collected money. He was a tax collector. He was one who the people did not support. And so at the time that Jesus spoke to him, he said, "Zacchaeus, come down. I'm going to have dinner at your house tonight." And everybody who was a follower of Jesus at that time did not think that Zacchaeus deserved such an honor. They told Jesus that he was not worthy of that. He should pick someone else. That Jesus should pick someone else. But Jesus knew that Zacchaeus was the right choice. So again, here we go. It doesn't have to look perfect. Again, compared to this tree, they're all going to look unique and they're all going to look different, just like every tree. They don't grow in a particular pattern. Every snowflake is unique. Every tree can have its own branches in whatever way it needs to look. And so Zacchaeus was happy to have this invite, was happy to do this. He came down from the tree and he invited Jesus into his home. Now, the thing about Jesus is that he is the one that is willing to forgive. He is the one that is willing to give others the chances that other people don't think they deserve. And as Zacchaeus had Jesus over to his house, he was able to realize the wrongs that he did. And he was able to rethink what he was doing in the world. Now, when you're cutting these leaves, it really can be in whatever shape, fashion you want. This is the leaf shape that I've chosen. You can, if you need to, take one of those crayons and draw a leaf shape before you feel like you need to cut it out, and that's totally fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use that leaf shape. Even if the crayon marks are on there, it doesn't matter. It adds dimension to the leaf. And then we're gonna start putting the leaves on the tree. Again, you can use craft glue for this. It will take a little bit longer to dry, but just be patient and you'll definitely get your leaves to stick to the paper bag. But again, I'm gonna use a hot glue gun and just place your leaves wherever you would like them to go, just to give your tree a little more life. It's not the winter time when this parade was going on. It was definitely during a little bit more of a warmer season, so you still had leaves on the tree. And again, Zacchaeus, upon having Jesus come, he decided to change his ways. He actually decided to give the money that he took from other people. He decided to give that back 3 times over. He also had other plans that he was going to change the way that he was even living his life. He wasn't going to be a tax collector anymore. And the beautiful thing about that is he very well wouldn't have done that if Jesus hadn't given him another chance. If Jesus hadn't forgiven Zacchaeus and given him the opportunity to prove that he could change his ways, Zacchaeus very well could have been just another person, just another tax collector, and that would have been the end of the story. But because Jesus forgave him and gave him a second chance, he was able to change his ways. And so when it comes to seeing other people in our lives that we don't think deserve another chance, we want to be like Jesus, and if we see someone in need or someone who needs another chance, needs to be forgiven, we should give them that opportunity because we never know what that kind of forgiveness is going to do for them and make them change themselves, finding Jesus in their own hearts. Zacchaeus and tree. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Christian Faith Center. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Feel free to follow us because we will be having more videos like this. Parents, this is an opportunity for you to gather up these materials, pretty basic materials that you can find around your house. And you can either do this with your child or have your child try it. It's always about trial and error. And if they make a mistake, you can encourage them and show them how to do it differently. But this is an opportunity for you to get your children involved with the Bible story as well as being busy in some other way than a tablet or YouTube. So we want to be those people that give you that option to